Good day to you all. My name is Kieran Dolan. Before we begin, I have to touch and say, definitionally, I am not qualified to make this video, right? And this is exactly what we'll be talking about. The idea of concessions come up when discussing Saint Benedict and the reality of a man of God's progression, let's say. Particularly if you've only uncovered anything, right, anything at all. I think in this video, right, or this discussion, it'll be more like shining a bright light on a open field at night. You may well light up some of the air, right, but you certainly aren't highlighting the deer on the edge of the forest. The lamb, perhaps, on the edge of the forest. Maybe I could hope that I could help outline the trees, but probably more realistically, I'll just take away your night vision. Nonetheless, we see purity come from denying our concessions. It's critical that we do deny our concessions as we love God more and more, to our love for God, right? I think we see a lot of concessions in our lives, and we actually see it most frequently in the media that we consume. And we look at these people and we say, oh, they're married, dating. No, brother. Dating and marriage and this sexual pretext of relationship with women is a fundamental misapprehension of, firstly, the relationship that we should have with women, right? Firstly. But then also, Paul clearly states that marriage is a concession, right? If you are able to stay unmarried, if you're able to purify yourself by denying the concessions made to you, then it's better to be unmarried, right? And that doesn't suggest that everybody needs to be unmarried, right? We do need some, population, if you know what I'm saying. No, I'm just kidding. But it's critical to see that having the kind of juncture, right, or this kind of pre-rooted idea that denying concessions given to you is actually freeing yourself from slavery, right? But we see it in the people, especially on the internet, right? And we see that Saint Benedict says multiplying words is not going to solve problems, right? Yet we see Father Spiridon publish, and it's like, go to service, go to mass, right? Obviously, Father Spiridon is a good, he's a holy man, and Bishop Robert Barron's been tasked by the church to film his videos. I don't know exactly about Spiridon, if he's been enlisted to do that, let's say. But nonetheless, right, we think of ourselves, oh, diet, right? Let me get on this fancy diet, right? And it's going to make me a big guy, I'm going to be a holy man just because I eat bread, right? Whatever, I fast or participate in the, in the Lenten practice, right? But Lent is actually some kind of concession, right? To some extent, because if you really imagine yourself and God says, oh yeah, well, you can just be a bad boy all the rest of the year, but during Lent, if you work hard during Lent, you'll be fine. That is a concession. That is a complete inaccuracy, right? It's not about the Lenten time. It's about the instantaneous turn. Eve reached for the knowledge of good and evil, right? And fundamentally, everything is sustained at every single point, at every single moment by God, right? Fundamentally, right? Imagine turning the computer off, right? When you're playing the video game. We're not even turning the computer off, just closing the video game. It's unrendered. It just doesn't exist, right? So our universe is fundamentally preoccupied with that, right? God preoccupies our universe by rendering it in, right? It's already here. And so when you go to your bedroom and you sit on your big fluffy bed, right? Think about how long it took us to get there. How long it took us to get to that fluffy bed. And then lie on your floor. Lie on your floor and think, wow, I am not freezing on my floor. I can lie on my floor and I won't freeze to death. Think about how long that took. You know what I'm saying? And then go lie on the ground if you want to. I mean, I'm not going to force you to do that. But if you go lie on the ground outside, it's cold and wet. Or at least it is here. And so, you know, is it a concession that we live in a tent? Is it a concession that we live in a house? Is it a concession that we even sustain ourselves? Is it a concession that we get to breathe, right? I mean, obviously these are, it gets hyperbolic at some point because we're so dependent, right? But even still, we look at these people on the internet and in the media and, these role models of a sort, but they don't necessarily highlight their concessions, do they? And I don't suggest that they maybe should, but to highlight our own concessions within ourselves is very critical. And I think that some people should be more desperate to attribute concessions to God, because everything comes from God. It's not, God makes the land and the devil makes the birds, right? If you think about the parable of the sower, where do the birds come from, right? Why are there birds at all? We use birds in our holy sacrifice. Well, the Jews do, or well, they did back in the day. But, I don't know what they're doing these days, to be honest. But doves is the Holy Spirit, right? The Holy Spirit is a bird, right? So the birds eat the seeds that the sower puts out, right? And should the birds starve, right? Should the birds starve? Speaking of birds. And like, are crows beautiful, right? I mean, crows are these like black, vicious, speaking of crows, it just heard me, these vicious creatures, right? But they're intelligent, right? And they actually smother the normal population of a place, the normal diversity of a place. And it's like, should we sustain the birds? What concessions do we allow ourselves to have? How comfortable can we be? How uncomfortable can we be is probably a more accurate thing to ask. It's interesting because virtue signaling is, how should I put this? Fundamentally is a concession, right? If I say, oh yeah, I went to the food pantry and I donated, 10 cans, right? Something like this to the food pantry. It's like, wow, good job, man. You're so cool. But it's like that validation, right? Even if obviously that is kind of an extreme example, let's say, but it's like that validation, because 10 cans is not that much, right? But even still, people saying, oh, you're amazing, you're good, right? Even that friendliness, even the love that you gain from a woman, right, is a concession. So getting 1 million views on YouTube, getting paid to make the videos, getting paid to speak, getting paid to be this, character, effectively a character, right? I mean, you don't know my life. You don't know my day to day, right? You don't know that I lose things. You don't know that, I, probably spend too much money on whatever it is, right? But even still, you see a character, right? And you see maybe my most, not perfected, but like my most contemplated character, right? But frankly, I'm a divided soul, plain and simple. And that obviously doesn't sound very good for me, but, c'est la vie, here I am. I'm, how should I put this? I'm a fallen character, right? My real character is fallen, right? And I pray that even as I participate in death with Christ, I pray that I may participate in his resurrection, right? And I don't think I've got any real hope by my own power to do that, frankly. I don't think I will, because I'm just not that good. And honestly, it's anything that I could ever possibly do, right? Any self-exhausting, thankless, rewardless, concessionless, there you go, that's the word for it, concessionless, excuse me, any concessionless power that I put out, even if I exhaust all the power I could possibly exhaust, right? My body came from dust, but my soul was breathed into me by God, right? I mean, that's the common understanding. But that means that my entire body, my entire soul is only composed of one breath of God. I mean, to think how pitiful that would be to him is just like, oh man, that was a good deep breath right there, And man, it is nice to have a good deep breath. I will tell you that for nothing. But I will also say, we cannot ignore that reality. So, anyways, listen, peace and love. That is the trick. That's what our love is. That's what our world is made of. Peace and love. So be good, work hard, work and pray. That's what St. Benedict says. I think that's about right. It's not about making money. It's not about getting views. It's not about, even getting love, right? You already have love. You already have the life, right? You're right here, right now, and you're just working in this moment to progress, let's say, in whatever means you see possible. So, anyways, peace and love to you all. Yes. Thank you. My name's Kieran Dolan. Ciao.